So you just changed the oil in your car or your truck for the first time in your garage? Good job, Gen Zers, your balls finally dropped. Now, what do you do with the oil afterwards? Do you pour it back in the jug so it looks kind of brand new? Then what? Hopefully you're not dumping it into your garbage bin and then it heads off to the landfill, because that's not the right way to recycle your oil. So this municipality has now a used oil recycling facility, and they're gonna have a place where you can drop off your oil in an outdoor staging zone, and then they'll have a human that operates inside of here and can grab those jugs, open up the door, and dump it into this tank. And then this will be able to be pumped out and recycled responsibly. So if you want to see how we built out this shipping container, maybe a little bit boring for all you container home folks, but if you're into this sort of thing, or you're a municipality looking for a used oil storage facility like this video is for you. Stay tuned. Hope you learned something. Before we put this bar grating on top of these containment pans, I want to draw your attention to what we did to structurally reinforce these containment pans to handle all of that weight. Because if this oil tank is right full of oil, it's going to be heavy, and we don't want this 14 gauge doubled up metal to fold on us. That would be catastrophic. And so what we did is we took a 6x2 or 6x3 rec tube here, and we notched it and welded it up so that in case there was a spill, it still ports over like it would normally. And then the guys just welded nuts inside of here. And so now with this, we can actually set the oil tank right on top of the bar grating and then bolt down right through it. One thing we're gonna have to be careful of here is that these nuts that we've welded in don't line up with the bar grating openings. And so we can shift that a little bit with our Hilti nuts, but we're gonna wanna definitely, right before we go and put our first self-tapping screw down and into this, give her an eyeball. And so just down at the other end, this is going to have the steps of that oil tank, and that's where the human operator is gonna be able to walk up and dump the used oils. And there's still gonna be some room here at the doorway end where they're gonna be able to stage pails or jugs or whatever comes into this recycling location. And so we're at a stage here, we're about to start installing the vents and the door. So everything's cut out, but we did do something wrong in this scenario. I walked by, I saw the containment pans installed inside of this container, and there was no holes yet. I'm like, boys, what are we doing? We want to make sure that those are cut out prior to putting these in here, because now we've got ourselves mild steel metal shards all over these galvanized containment pans. And it's fine right now, but as soon as there's moisture inside of here, that pits and it gets right into that zinc. So we're gonna have to do an amazing job vacuuming all of this out before this is exposed to any kind of humidity. Alrighty, so before installing this bar grating on top of these containment pans, we really made sure we vacuumed out all of those metal shards, and those came from the Hilti clips, which are just part of installing this and something we can't avoid, but also when you cut the holes for the man door that we installed here or our vents, and that's installed as well. So we got a 36-inch composite door. I love these composite door over steel. I'd like to slowly start changing all of you guys to go to composite over steel, because I think it's just one of those old habits that everyone thinks steel is better, but these are just way more solid, and you'll like them if you're looking for one of our doors. And then the big Air 45 vents. So these, we don't often use the bug screen up here in Canada because we don't get tiny little gnats that need to be filtered out. But this is very important for all you Americans out there. Even the little 3/16 or something slots in there. Mosquitoes and flies don't get in, but your little bugs in the States do. So those are great. There's lots of them, and we got them all up high. And that's very important because on the container doors, they're down low. And why do we do that? Well, some vapors are heavier and lighter than air, and so basically inside of here you might have a plume up on the roof or down low, and we want to make sure that all of that gets moving and exhausted out of these hazmat units. And then finally, let's address the elephant in the room. We got a massive tank here, and it's got a big trunk on it. And so this is our used oil tank, and we've got our vent pumped right through our, we call it our nominally vertical frame, or it's like a utility pass-through frame. And we've used that for lots of things now. So we can run plumbing vents through there. We can have like HVAC get extracted out of the bottom. And there, we didn't want rainwater coming in through this vent pipe and then mixing water with our oil. So it's facing downwards, hopefully that vents. And that comes out of a lot of these little fittings on these tanks. So they have a whole bunch of different bungs welded into here. Guess the guys struggled a little bit with our lifting lug. I think because we bolted the stairs onto the side and instead of taking those 4 bolts out, they really struggled with it not actually being, you know, the center of gravity in it. And then here's a, what is it? A fill opening and an emergency vent. So 3-inch here, she's zip tied shut right now. And that I think doesn't have any pipes or anything going through. You can get these with a cam lock that would either, you can fill into here, or potentially if the straw was down at the bottom, you could suck out the tank. And then this is how the operator is actually gonna take your used oil and dump it in. And so let's open up this lid here. It's a nice size hatch, and it's just glug, 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 glug. And this here, I think it's rated for 4,500 liters. It's a double wall tank. So this by itself typically is actually capable of just sitting outside. But the issue is when people are pouring in it, they're still spilling everywhere. And so even though it's, you know, secondary containment or self-contained, the area around it still gets dirty and it still turns into an environmental hazard. And that's what these containment pans are for. Mostly. They will catch a little less than half of this tank if it was to get punctured, but inside of this, you know, durable shipping container, that's very, very unlikely, because they have about 1,900 liters of storage in this 6-inch deep containment pan under here. So this whole combo here with all of the ventilation, the structural shell protecting this tank, and the spill containment all around it seems to be a winning recipe for municipalities. It was actually the government that said, we're the pros at this, and they sent another municipality to us, but we didn't know we were pros, but now we do have a solution. And so if you're a large enough business where you need something like this, or you're a municipality, you really want to avoid contaminating your soil, because that turns into problems like you need an environmental assessment to sell your property, and eventually you might not be able to sell your property. Or if you're the city or the town, you should just be doing the right thing, because you guys are setting the standards. So if you're looking for something like this, give us a call. Hope you learned something. Woo!